Alright, so what I did is I went ahead and cut out my spells from the larger piece of paper. I used the little craft scissors to give it a rough edge, so that way it wasn't just, super straight. What I'm going to do now is take my Mod Podge, glue it into the book. Again, I got this book from Goodwill for like $1, hardback. This one was actually already kind of yellowed, and you probably can't see it, but the edges are textures. There is some texture to those edges, giving it more of a creepy feel. So I do want to make sure before I glue this, okay, that I have kind of like the middle of the book so it's even, where the pages naturally would split. That way I don't have to worry about it, flipping back over. So, again, I got these two printouts online. I'm going to go ahead and Mod Podge those down. So I'll apply a generous amount, and I do want to make sure that I get, the edges, the inside corner. Alright, so once you have that in there, again, make sure you get that inside crease along the edges here. I'm going to go ahead and place that in. Now I have a little space at the top and the bottom. That's okay. Again, it's a spell book. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's hundreds of years old. You get the drill. Alright, now to make sure this is down, I'm going to put a little Mod Podge over the top. So the pages are dry. What I'm going to do is add a little more character to the book now. So I'm going to take my twine and just kind of add it to the middle, and then I think I'm going to add it to the border of the book as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start gluing that now. So glue gun's warmed up. I'm going to put a big stretch of glue right down the middle. And then we're going to go ahead and place the twine. So let's just press it all the way down, make sure it's getting down there in that glue. Halloween stuff is so much fun because you can do all sorts of things to just make it look extra creepy and old and rustic. Alright, so I'll cut the excess off a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is take the end of my twine, and I'm going to start gluing it around the edges of the book. Alright, so I finished gluing the twine. Again, I put it kind of around the border of the book. So if you can see that a little bit. So it just gives it that extra detail. So I'm looking at my spell book, and there's still some extra little things I want to do to it. So to rough it up just a little, I kind of want to, go in and bend the pages just a little bit. Get some of them kind of crinkled, just to really give it that old feel. So I'm just going to go in here and kind of, like I said, bend some pages. What I've seen some people do is they get water bottles and they spray it, so it kind of makes it a little bubbly. I mean, I don't want to do too much to it. I just want to kind of make it so it's not laying super flat. So again, just kind of going in, messing with some stuff, bending a couple pages. You know what would be good too? So it just gives it a little more fluff. If you get ink from these printouts and then kind of smudge it. Smudge it on the edge, see? Gives it that little black look. So I'm just using the ink, literally getting it from the printout onto the edges of the book. Gives it that old dusty feel. I actually was going to use paint for this, but I think the fingerprints are working just fine. This is the fun part. Again, like I said, Halloween stuff. So now you can see that my edges have some black on them. Again, I just rubbed my fingers onto the printed page for my computer and got them dirty. Well, that was simple, instead of using craft paint. I roughed up the pages a little. I got the ink smeared on the sides. Now I think I have this little skeleton left over from another project. I kind of want to glue it onto the book, just to give it a little extra. You can see that, just to give it a little extra pop, like some little 3D action going on. So I think I might do that. And then I also have a little spider ring. I might cut off the ring part and glue that maybe like on the edge of the book or something. So. Okay, so I glued the spider on, so you can see it on the edge there, and then I glued the little skeleton to the book as well. I think it's looking really good. Last thing I want to do, and I've been a big fan of this Halloween. Instead of spider webs, I'm liking the Spanish moss. So I have a little Spanish moss here on the table with me. And again, when you actually go to display this, you can add spider webs, Spanish moss all around it. But I'm going to take just a few little clumps of this and kind of stick it in some of the pages. Again, trying to give it that creepy, dirty look, dirty feel to it. So I'm just going to kind of tuck it in some of the pages. And no pattern, doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, this year I'm really liking the Spanish moss to add that eerie effect to everything. Most years I go and put spider webs like everywhere. But this year, I kind of like that authentic looking, you know, Spanish moss look. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and clear this off. The only thing is Spanish moss is kind of messy. Alright, so I think I like my spell book. I think I'm done.